Hello, and welcome to Net2Phone's tutorial on how to test and trace your setups of trunks. A few prerequisites for this tutorial, and a summary of what we have done thus far. A trunk registered, covered in a previous tutorial on setting up this trunk. Outbound route registered, covered in a previous tutorial on creating an outbound route. And an extension and inbound route defined, covered in the previous tutorial on creating extensions and defining an inbound route. For this tutorial, all necessary links for downloads during this tutorial will also be listed in Appendix A of the Quick Reference Guide located in the description section of this video. With that said, let us begin. First, we will download X-Lite, a free softphone software to test our newly set up trunk. Visit the website, and then under Ready to Download X-Lite, click on the download link that is appropriate for your computer. Then, follow the setup sequence provided in the installer. Then you will be presented with a prompt stating your account is not enabled, and then you should click on Account Settings. You will then be presented with the SIP account page. Since I have already set up X-Lite, you could always access this page by going under Softphone and clicking on Account Settings. On this page, we will be dealing with the following fields: account name, the name you would like to assign for the settings layout, user ID, the extension number that you have assigned in the previous tutorial, domain, which is the address of the server that is hosting your trunk, password, which is the secret or password that you have assigned to your extension, authorization name, which is the extension number that you have assigned in the previous tutorial. For purposes of this tutorial, account name I had Net2Phone, user ID, which was my extension, the domain, which is my server, password, is my secret, my display name, this will just be the name that will show up for my account in X-Lite, and authorization name, which is once again my extension number. Now, click on Topology, and under Firewall Traversal Method, ensure that Auto Detect Firewall Traversal Method is checked off. Then, click OK. It should say Account Enabled. Before we test the line, we will first download two important programs to allow us to trace our newly set up phone line. First, we will download an SSH client called PuTTY to interact with the server. Visit this link, download the file, and save the program to an easily accessible location on your computer. Next, we will download a program Winscp to extract our saved trace from our server. Visit this link, then run the setup file and follow its instructions. Now we will place a call using X-Lite and trace it using PuTTY. First, run PuTTY, and you will be greeted with a configuration page. For hostname, enter your server domain number here. So, I will enter mine and click Open. The client will load up and ask you for your login information. Log in as root, then enter your password that was set up by your server. During the password input stage, the cursor will not move when you input the characters. However, it will still register. So enter your information and then follow by pressing enter. You will then be greeted by the FreePBX startup logo. Now enter the following into the PuTTY window prompt. Note you could paste the data inside the PuTTY console by pressing the right click button within the console. So therefore, I'm going to copy from our Quick Reference Guide. Now I'm going to right click within this window. This part, capture file name, could actually be replaced with any arbitrary name that you would like to assign to the current trace that we're about to make. Once you are done, press enter. Now, since it says listening, the PuTTY is ready to trace your call. So leave PuTTY open and switch to X-Lite. Now, To place a call to a number, we enter in the enter name or number prompt. I'm going to use a 1-800 number that is used to test these kinds of accounts. Once you have entered in the number, press call. As we can see, it's connecting. After a few seconds, just hang up your call by pressing the red button. Now switch back to your PuTTY console and press Ctrl and C simultaneously to stop the trace. Now we could exit PuTTY and open up Winscp. The login page will appear. Enter the following for the specified fields. Hostname. This will be the domain server address as entered previously. Username, which we will put in as root. And password, the password you set up on your server. So once again, my domain, root, and the password. Then click on Login. The Winscp program will now connect to your server. You could click Yes for this prompt if it shows up on yours. In the new page, click on the Up folder icon on the right side of the page to move up one folder from your current location in the root. Then click on Home. And now you will see the trace file in the browser. Right-click your trace file, select Copy, and now click Browse and specify the location where you would like to store the trace file. So I will put it on the desktop. Then click OK, and then copy. Now, as you can see here, you have the trace file for that call saved to your computer. You can now use this file to send to net2phone's customer support for troubleshooting or any questions pertaining to your trunk. Congratulations! You have tested the trunk and traced a call.